Chile, we have been having a lot of experience about that, and I want to share a little bit of it with you today. So for that, I want to put in context where is Chile. Yeah, we are in South America, we are next to Argentina, but more important than that is that we are next to the Pacific Ocean. We have one of the biggest coastlines in the world, and our maritime territory is 3 times bigger than our land territory. So we have a strong connection with the oceans. And of course, one of the biggest problems you will know of plastic pollution is about our oceans. So this type of news has been around the media a lot in our country. Valparaiso is one of our biggest ports of the zone, and of course also Easter Island is part of our country. So we have been a lot of concern in Chile about this, and in fact, during last year, we were the first South American country to overshoot plastic. I don't know if you are familiar with the term, but this means that all the plastic that we are put in the market, we are not capable to manage in a sustainable way. And this happens like in May, for example. So that's why during the last few years, Chile has been at the forefront of the plastic legislation in Latin America. These are one of the 3 biggest regulations that we have. We have the plastic bag ban in 2019, which ban all the commercial plastic bags except the ones that are in primary contact with food. We have also a single-use plastic law that is about straw, plates, cutlery, but more interesting than that, it established that commercial establishments has to put 30% of their products of reusable contents in bottles. And also, single-use plastic bottles has a percentage of recycled content, 15% this year to 70% in 2060. Yeah, a little far away, but I think it's an advance. And of course, last year we started the EPR for household plastic packaging. And coincidence or not, all this happens when the Chilean plastic bag start their motions. So we have the opportunity to put our feedback and our points in the table. So now I want to talk of 4 things that on how and why the plastic bag has mobilized public policy. And the first thing that I want to share with you is what happens at the beginning. So we have a lot of knowledge gaps, and we have been developing a lot of studies to close that gap. The first one was about regulatory issues. So we were seeing coming all these regulations, all the enterprise was given individual plans on how to face them, but they didn't have any space to talk about this, not only as a trade associations space, but with civil society and public agency. So the Chilean plastic bag has become that space so enterprise can talk with the public government and also with NGOs. And one example recently that we had launched is a report of high impact polystyrene strategy in Chile. And this is really interesting because if you can see the graph, before this study we didn't have information, public information about the tons of polystyrene that we have in the country. And that means that in policy it was really difficult to have informed decisions for the country. And with studies also we need to have pilots. It's not enough to show information, we have to show that this in practical ways. So I try with you 2 pilots that we have recently did. The first one is about flexible packing. The name is Hard with the Flexible. Yeah, the words game in that. And we're influencing the labeling regulation in Chile. So the recycling flexible packing, now it doesn't have the seal for recycling in the majority of the products. And it's had a lot of discussion about that. So these pilots want to prove that we can recycle flexible in practice. Of course, as we were talking in the sessions, this is not possible yet, but what we rescued from this pilot was how we can continue to improve this one. And the other one is a new model of collaboration between some grassroots recyclers and the PROs. So normally, grassroots recyclers are paid of what they collect, yeah? So what we think is that they are not only recover material, they also clean the city. So why not pay them for both service? And now, this Association of Glasswood Recyclers also do some education workshops around the city. And this has a real success in the media. That's why our third part of public policy advocacy, is about communication to mobilize citizenship. And I want to show these numbers because during 2024 we have 230 appearances in different media, in radio, newspaper, communication, and all this was in an organic way. So we didn't pay anything about this. Like the media called us as the Plastic Pact to talk about plastic pollution, the cycling guidelines, etc. And more than us, we have this space for our partners also. So for example, when we are talking about design for recyclability, we also talk with Amcor, that are our lead partners. When we talk about PET bottles, we talk with Coca-Cola, and when we talk with polystyrene strategies, with Soprole, that is a very important enterprise in our country. And now the pact has positioned itself as one of the best ways for the companies to go to citizenship. And of course, maybe the more straightforward way to go to advocacy in public policy is the active participation in regulatory process. And this is important, not as a trade association, but as an articulator of the ecosystem. This means that sometimes we didn't get consensus about what NGOs, enterprise, and other actors want, but we always put the points on the table. And this can we do because we have a strong relationship with the Ministry of Environment. In fact, here is Barbara joining with us. And they invite us in different stakeholders' opinion participation groups. For example, we were in the Extended Operating Committee for Recyclability Leveling. Also, we did some observation about the single-use plastic ban in the moment. And we are constantly doing presentations to the Congress so we can influence public policy. Sometimes they hear us, sometimes they don't. You know how it's policy about. But I think that the important thing here is that we're on the table and they can hear us. And that is because we have been doing incredible good work with our partners that I want to show to you, because I want to highlight that we have enterprise, we have NGOs, we have the different public agencies participating with us. And we have doing, studies, we have doing pilots, communication stuff, and participation in regulatory process. But we think that that's not enough for now. That's why last year we actively participate in a policy to strengthen collaboration between competitors. And I think that is one of the spirit of the plastic pacts around the world. How can we reduce free riders? How can we work together to stop plastic pollution across our countries? And as you can see, we read a lot in the media, inspiring of the work that are doing the different plastic pacts around the world. So if you ask me, if you want to go for public policy mobilization, I think that the plastic pact are the perfect place for that. Thanks you very much.